Welcome to the Supreme Lending Dallas Show, where you'll be introduced to different speakers on different topics, and you'll meet different guests for each of our episodes. Let's get started.
Hi, my name is Liz Evans, host of the Supreme Lending Dallas Show, and I want to welcome our guests, Loan Officer Tracy Jakobi and Realtor Robin McCoy. Gals, go ahead and say hi.
Hi. Hi, everyone.
Okay. And today's topic is the future of buying a house is now. And before we get started on the topic today, we want to go ahead and get to know our guests on a personal level. And not only are they loan officer and realtor, but they are sisters. So if you ever have a sister, like I have some sisters that we all live in different states, you know, we love each other, but there's times where we can kind of tear our hair out. I think all sisters have gone through that. So we'll get to know our sisters, loan officer and realtor, and they're going to share some of their stories. So gals, go ahead and tell us about this photo.
I don't remember that photo, so it is one of my favorites.
You know, that picture, that's in the first house we lived in. We originally, or when we were both born here in Dallas, I guess, over in Lake Highlands. And our neighbor was a photographer, and he sat us down in the front yard and just took that picture. And it's actually turned into one that we've kind of shared for all these years. I think, we were probably six. I was probably 6. So she was probably 3 or 4. Yeah.
Okay, and then this next photo shows you grown up as adults and how close you still are. Go ahead and talk about this photo.
That was at an ABWA function. I'm not sure which one. Do you know?
I don't know.
We're both members of the American Businesswomen's Association and do a lot of functions and networking and things like that through them.
Okay. And this next photo looks like an Easter picture, and I know my sisters and I have an Easter picture. I think we all do.
Yeah. Our matching dresses that our mother made.
Matching dresses. How'd you do that?
Circa 1968.
Yeah. Mom made all of our dresses. They'd be a little bit different. There'd just be a little touch. But everything she used to sew all of our clothes until we started wearing jeans and T-shirts all the time.
And do you think that sisters still do that today at that age? I mean, do moms still dress their daughters?
Don't look at me.
Same?
I don't know that.
Yeah, you don't have to. I know. I mean, I have a boy and a girl, so it would have been weird to dress them alike. But I don't think many people make their kids clothes like that anymore.
Yeah, not like they used to.
Yeah, those are special times.
Yeah.
Yeah, very special.
I think so,
and
too.
then this next photo, go ahead and tell us about this, because now you're grown once again in this photo, and you're at work and doing networking events.
Yeah, and that one she helped out with an open house. So I don't do open houses by myself. I
won't let her do open houses by herself.
That's just, I'm a safety girl. So I always ask a loan officer, and Tracy's always the first one that I will ask if she wants to come and sit the open house with me to, again, generate information and talk to people and
answer their questions about funding and that kind of thing. Okay. And we get to hang out for a couple hours. So.
Yeah. And so what's it like being sisters and then in the same line of industry?
Well, interestingly enough, Robin more or less pulled me into this. She had me, I was looking for something new, and she had me shadow her for a day as a realtor, and I just didn't really feel like that was my thing. But it got me interested in the industry, and so I ended up as a loan officer. And I will mention that she did not send me a single referral for at least 2 years.
I don't think it's that long.
It was at least 2 years because she wanted to make sure I knew what I was doing.
That's what I'm talking about. This is truly
So, and I don't blame her. I mean, I wouldn't want her to send someone to me if she wasn't sure that I could do the job.
But now how many do I send? How many did I send you this week?
Like 4.
Okay.
So
let's
she trusts me. She trusts me. I lived up to the name.
You know, got to do what you got to do.
And this next photo, Robin, talk about this.
That is, I love hiking. I love to be outside. And actually, that is down at Jacob's Well in Wimberley. Because I was that's just a few weekends ago. My head was about to explode. I hadn't been out of Dallas in, a year. And so it just felt so good to be outside and scrambling on some rocks and just being outside and looking at beautiful things.
And then Tracy, same question about this photo.
That's a picture of my husband and I right before we ran a 5K, /walk. At that particular time, we spent a year doing 1 5K a month. As a goal that we had, we accomplished it. We did 12 5Ks in 1 year, and my knees said no more. So we don't do that anymore. But we had a lot of fun doing it.
Okay. And now we're going to get to today's episode on the future of buying a house is now. And Robin, what are some questions a buyer should ask a realtor in today's market, especially with the lack of inventory?
I think it's really, how can I get a house? How can I win? Should I even try? I don't have $100,000 in cash reserves to throw down on something. And really, it's just ask all the questions that you have so that all your concerns can be alleviated.
Okay, and then this is where this next question comes into play. And do you also work with buyers and sellers?
I do work with buyers and sellers, and I think that's a big benefit because I know what sellers are looking for as well. So I can craft an offer that addresses the seller's needs because it's not always just price.
And Tracy, what are some of the questions buyers ask you for the loan process?
Especially first-time home buyers, but they want to know what credit score do they need, how much money do they need to have saved, and the answer to those questions is it depends. It depends on your situation. It depends on what kind of program we're trying to put you in. If we're looking at down payment assistance to help you out, if your credit scores aren't quite where they need to be, that's okay. Come talk to me. I can help you with your scores. I'm not a credit counselor, but I do have some tools that can help us get your score where it needs to be.
So Robin, will your buyers be working with you or with your team?
I have a small team, but primarily they will work with me. Sometimes I have to utilize the use of a showing assistant because it's hard to be in Louisville and Mesquite all at the same time in Dallas. So I do utilize showing assistants to help us look at homes. I do have a transaction coordinator to help us keep on track once we are under contract and making sure everything goes. But most of the communication is directly with me.
And Tracy, how do you determine what loan program to put in for your buyers?
Well, there's a lot of different factors, and there's hundreds of loan programs out there. So we're looking at what their debt to income ratio is, what their credit score is, how much money they have saved, how big of a down payment they can make, what kind of monthly payment they're comfortable with. And we take all that into consideration and then narrow down the choices. And you do try to give them 1 or 2 different scenarios so that they can make the best choice for them.
And so there's a lot of factors that takes into play. Okay.
Absolutely.
And Robin, how do you help buyers compete in this market? I know that we talked about that just a little bit ago, but say someone is they might have 50,000 grand to put down or 100,000 to put down. So how do you help them?
Well, like she said before, on many things, it depends. And it's what the comfort level of the client and the buyer really is. So because again, sellers aren't necessarily looking for price. There's a lot of terms that go into a real estate agreement that can make a big difference. Maybe it's a closing date. Maybe it's amount of earnest money. Maybe it's this or it's that. But I will call the listing agent and ask what's important to the seller so that I can craft an offer while working with the loan officer to make sure I don't do something that they will not appreciate. And we craft an offer that the buyer is comfortable with and comfortable executing, and yet will still help the seller and help them with their loan.
Okay. And we have a viewer asking a question. It's for Tracy. What is mortgage insurance?
Well, mortgage insurance is actually an insurance policy to protect your lender in case you're not able to make your mortgage payments. It's not required on all loans. On conventional loans, it's required if you put less than 20% down. Now, on a conventional loan, that mortgage insurance will drop off automatically when you reach 20% equity in the home. On an FHA loan, it is required on all FHA loans, no matter how much you put down, and it is there for the life of the loan. But it is a lower amount than on a conventional loan.
Okay, and we have another question from a viewer. It's for Robin. We have a viewer asking, what is earnest money and is earnest money required?
The big question. Yes, earnest money is required. In the state of Texas, you do not have a valid contract unless earnest money is put up, is what we say. Now, that amount is negotiable. What it shows is that you as a buyer are very earnest in pursuing that contract or that property. So, it's like I said, it's negotiable. Typically, what we see right now, or in a typical market, is 1% of the sales price. So if it's a $300,000 sales price, it's $3,000 for earnest money. One of the tools is to increase that earnest money because that's the money you're willing to risk. You're telling that seller that I will close on this property, and if I terminate without cause, you can have my money. So the more we can put down, the stronger your offer is, and the seller confidence level goes up.
It's important to note too that earnest money is applied towards your closing.
Yes.
So it's not, you're not just giving them the money. It's applied towards your cash to close.
Yes.
Okay.
Goes in your bucket at the title company.
Thank
is what
you
I'd say.
for clarifying that. Yeah. And as we come to the close of our episode on the future of buying a houses now, we have a couple more photos to show you. And go ahead and talk about this photo that's come up.
That was a bucket list item that I took off to Spain in the late summer, early fall of 2019, and I walked on the Camino de Santiago in Spain.
And what was that like?
It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. I went by myself, so even getting on the airplane was hard. But
Having never been out of the country,
had never been that far away from home by myself, never been to Europe, never been to Spain, don't speak Spanish. I can say cerveza and vino. That's
all the important words.
All the important words I've got. But it was just an incredible growing experience for myself to figure out what I'm capable of, to
stepping out of your comfort zone.
Way out of my comfort zone, staying in a place that I'd never stayed before. I can't wait to go back. It was amazing.
How exciting. And then Tracy.
The Deutsche family.
The what family?
The Deutsch.
Oh,
German.
Good. And tell us about this photo.
Well, my husband, born and raised in Germany. So his entire family is in Germany. Not this past Christmas, but the Christmas before, we were lucky enough to go back and visit. And that's our entire family, maybe minus one person. I think Uncle Toby's not there. But super close to them and love them and wish we could see them more.
Okay, and we have one last photo. And Tracy, tell us about this. This is a lovely photo.
That's one of my favorites. That's from the same trip to Germany. We went to Berlin, just my husband and I and our two kids. And that's in front of the Brandenburg Gate. Just a little family selfie. But it was an incredible trip. And the kids were old enough to really appreciate it. And we just had a great time.
Well, ladies, thank you for being here with us today. And if you're looking for a loan officer, if you have any questions, Tracy Jakobi's information is on the screen. If you're looking for a realtor, whether you're looking and you're here local, or maybe you're out of state, or maybe international and you're looking to move to the DFW Metroplex, go ahead and give Robin McCoy a call, and her information is on the screen also. In the meantime, thank you and have a blessed day.